Yo, what is up guys, Ghost here, and in today's video, DICE have recently teased what is going to be available to us within Season 6 for Battlefield 2042, and I think they've done this mostly to assuage a lot of miscommunication or a lot of fears within the community that Redux may be coming instead of Season 6, or Season 6 isn't going to be a full season. Obviously, a lot of people were disappointed the other day, and DICE are trying to act here and do something to settle everybody's nerves. However, whilst this is quite a small tweet, it does tell us quite a lot about what to expect from the next season, so we're going to go over everything there. Before we get started though, if you guys do enjoy the content here on the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. Hit the like down below if you enjoyed the video, as always. Thank you guys so much for that. Okay, so first of all, the other day, of course, we got this announcement about Battlefield Redux and the Season 6 delay due to DICE having summer vacations, and I can see already from a lot of the comments left on that video and my other recent videos that there seems to be some sort of confusion amongst people. A lot of people were saying things like, but Ghost, don't you realize that Redux isn't Season 6? You know, a lot of people seem to think that the annoyance amongst the community is due to the fact they think Redux is coming instead of Season 6. So just to make this absolutely clear, nobody thinks that, okay? Everybody understands that Redux is coming in the delay before Season 6 releases. The reason so many people are annoyed about this is because, generally speaking, all of the past seasons for Battlefield 2042 have released back-to-back. So when you only have a couple of weeks left of the season, like we do now with Season 5, generally speaking, that means we're about to get a new content drop. Maybe the week after that, content creators will drop some gameplay that they've captured in a closed event, and then the following week, the new season will release. So that is why everybody was expecting a Season 6 announcement the other day, especially after DICE had drummed up so much hype. The fact that they've decided to delay this doesn't really matter, it's more just the way that they announced it that is getting people's backs up, okay? Just wanting to make that clear. Like, there's nothing wrong with taking summer vacation. I'm sure lots of you work in jobs where once summer vacation kicks in and people start to leave work, things start to get a little bit slow. And whilst in a lot of jobs you can get people to cover other people's positions, I guess you can't really do that in game dev. Let's say you're working on a new weapon for Season 6, you can't get some summer worker who is 18 years old and has no clue what they're doing to just come in and like cover your work for a couple of months, and then when you get back from your vacation you're like, oh my god, what have you done to my weapon, what have you done to my baby, man? You know, it just doesn't really work like that in game dev. Things are going to get slow during the summertime, and that's precisely the reason that we don't really see any big game releases then, because those are the times where you need to have all hands on deck. So the fact there is a delay doesn't really come as a massive surprise, it's more just the way that DICE communicated this to us, I think. And so for that reason, they've decided to go and follow up here and put this tweet out. So it says, following our development update earlier this week, we understand you are looking for more details on Season 6. We'll reveal Season 6 after Redux, and you can expect a full season of content with the new map we teased in the development update, new weapons, gadgets, vehicle, battle pass, and more that you've come to expect from us. So whilst this is a pretty vague statement here, it does actually tell us quite a few things. So first of all, it specifically says the new map, not the new maps. So anybody who thought we may be getting more than one map this season is unfortunately going to be disappointed there. Doesn't really come as a big surprise to me. I thoroughly expected this to be one map, as in all of the other seasons as well, so let's just hope it's a good one. However, DICE have said on multiple occasions that remaking the previous maps of the games and doing a pass on them has almost been more work than creating an entirely new map from scratch. So that led a lot of people to believe that since they're no longer doing the map reworks, maybe now we'll get two maps instead of one. However, that doesn't seem to be the case, so that probably means those team members have been moved on to the next game. However, luckily this does also confirm to us that we will be getting new weapons, we'll also be getting some new gadgets, and most importantly, at least in my eyes, we're getting a new vehicle, which is of course something that was absent from Season 5. And then there's of course the Battle Pass, which is thoroughly expected, and more. I wouldn't really read too much into the and more statement there. I think that's just kind of something you say. It's maybe going to be small quality of life updates, so, you know, don't get too excited about that. So what kind of a new vehicle could we be getting then? For me, I would say it is high tide we had a new jet in the game. We've already had a new helicopter via the stealth helicopter. We've already had multiple new ground vehicles. We've had the Cav Brawler, we've had the railgun tank, we've had the EBLC Ram. Do we really need yet another version of a ground attack vehicle or transport vehicle? I kind of feel like Battlefield 2042 has those in spades. We already have 4 different varieties of helicopter in the game. Why can't we have another kind of jet? I think the attack jet, even if they simply ported over what they currently have in Portal, would go a long way in improving the game and just giving it more variety. And I know a lot of people are going to scream, oh my god, we don't need more air vehicles destroying the infantry, and I would agree with you there, but let's remember that if we add another jet, it's not going to be an additional jet, right? It's going to come instead of the other kind of jet, so you're going to have to pick one or the other, and I suppose the simple route to go is making the new jet sort of more of a ground attack vehicle like an attack jet rather than an air superiority fighter. So the A-10 Warthog and the Frogfoot on the Russian side would be like the obvious choice here, I think. However, there is also the possibility that this could be a stealth bomber. If you remember years, I think we're talking about ago now, Temporal did data mine what appeared to be some sort of a stealth bomber for Battlefield 2042, and this was never released, so this could be finally coming to the game. However, it's been that long at this point that I feel that DICE have pretty much scrapped this project if it ever was supposed to be in the game in the first place, and furthermore, I feel as though the stealth helicopter already fulfills the role of being the bomber of the game, so therefore a stealth bomber wouldn't really complement that too well or make a lot of sense. Okay, a couple of other things I just wanted to lightly touch on here. I actually missed something in the original dev update that showed off Battlefield Redux, and you can see it here in this graphic that they presented on screen, but it's very well hidden. Right down at the bottom under highlights, it says attack helicopter improvements, and I shared this over on Twitter thinking, okay, improvements, what does that mean? Are we talking about the attack helicopter category, as in, you know, the Apache and the Super Hokum, or are we talking about the attack helicopters vehicle category, as in like the Nightbird and all of the helicopters in the game, right? It's a little bit vague. So I made a little tweet here saying, you know, what does this mean? Are these improvements or are they nerfs? And Eddie, who's working on the vehicles team here, he commented saying that it's not nerfs. And if you recall, there was this pretty large feedback topic over on the official Battlefield Discord all about attack helicopters that followed on from the jet feedback topic. And as we've seen, DICE definitely acted well on that jet feedback, and they have improved the jets tremendously so far. So hopefully the same thing is going to happen for the attack helicopters. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely feel that they are a little bit lackluster, definitely bottom of the pack when it comes to, you know, which helicopter you're going to pick. So really awesome to see that there are some improvements coming there. Now, I think it's fair to say, given the content that we got for Season 5 and what seems to be coming for Season 6 with only the one map here, that more and more evidence seems to be pointing to the fact that DICE, or Battlefield 2042 specifically, is currently being developed by a skeleton crew. And I know this term is sort of bounded around a lot, but I really do believe that to be true. I think a lot of people have moved over to the new game, especially after the first year of content, so after Season 4. And there is a lot of evidence online of this via people leaving the company, new people coming to the company. I've covered some of these things before. Alexander Formoso has recently left as he was the lead weapons designer. However, there seem to be a lot of old DICE people returning, which I think is a really good thing, because something I see a lot on Reddit and other places on social media are that the current DICE team don't know how to make a Battlefield game. You know, all the old people who made the Battlefield greats have left the company. And so it's actually quite re-energizing for me to see a lot of these greats coming back again. And Darko here on Twitter, he says, so many people rejoined the studio recently that a newcomer became a really vague word. I am very happy about this. It serves as a great motivator and testament that the direction we've been pushing in recently is the right one. Time will tell. And it most certainly will. And I completely understand what he's going for here. So we've got David Serland. He returned many months ago, and he's really been keeping his head down on Twitter. We know that he's working on the next Battlefield game, and he's known for pioneering like the community test environment in Battlefield 4 and making a lot of great changes to the game and games that came afterwards. So it's really great to see him rejoin DICE. Florian, who's of course been working on Battlefield 2042 all along, has really clammed up and not had a lot to say on Twitter recently. This is his latest post, and it says that they're looking for a designer who's an expert of the controller experience as well as related systems, the FPS games, with solid Battlefield knowledge. So it's obvious he has now been moved over to the new game. He's not really taking feedback on 2042 anymore, because when the game did first release, Florian was one of the people actually quite active on Twitter, talking to people, gathering feedback, and seeing what was wrong with the game. And if you pay attention, it's just very obvious who has been moved over to the new game, who's getting their heads down and just getting to work on it and not really communicating anything, and who is still communicative and is working on live content for 2042. We also see this guy here, David, who is a senior game designer at DICE, returning. He worked previously on Battlefield 5, and then he went over to Ubisoft and he worked on Far Cry 6 and the new upcoming Avatar game as it looks like a combat systems designer. And now he's gone back to DICE to work for them remotely from Germany. So I'm not sure why all of these old developers are going back to DICE. Are they applying for jobs there, or are DICE reaching out to them and offering them positions to try to get the best Battlefield game that they can? That isn't really clear, but it is good to see a lot of these old folks returning. Now, Marcus Leto, who is heading up Ridgelines Games, that is the development studio who is now responsible for the upcoming single-player portion of the next Battlefield game, he seems to have kind of clammed up on Twitter. He was very vocal about getting feedback from the community. He was always asking about things like, what are some of your favorite Battlefield moments? What would you like to see in the next Battlefield game, etc. However, there is a post from him here on July the 20th saying, Twitter has given me the big middle finger. That will be why you hear less from me here about Battlefield. We'll take it elsewhere. So, yeah, he's gotten the huff with Twitter, as a lot of people have. That's understandable, I guess. So maybe that's why we're not really hearing much from him. In any case, interesting stuff. I know this vehicle has been a lot of speculation about all kinds of things, the next Battlefield and Season 6, but you guys know me. I always find that kind of stuff interesting. As always, I'm always interested to hear what you guys think about it down below, so leave your comments down there. If you did enjoy the video today, guys, leave a like down below, subscribe for more Battlefield content. Massive thank you to my members on the channel here for the additional support. Thank you guys so much for that. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys in the next video.